and welcome back to the Kakasa with IFRIS tutorials. In this video, we look at stock management under Kakasa with IFRIS. Be sure to have watched the previous video covering registration on Kakasa with IFRIS, as you cannot move to this level unless you have received approval of your registration from Uganda Revenue Authority. The links to these videos can be found in the description space below this video.
To get started, you log on to the URL portal www.ura.go.ug. When the website loads, we select e-invoicing. On selection of e-invoicing, we should have this logon screen. So we are inputting our TIN to log on to the IFRIS account. So the system asks for an OTP, the one-time password. So we should have this login. As long as our registration was confirmed, our login is supposed to be appearing like this, having these menus updated. So when we are going to deal with stock, we place our cursor on top of stock management. Under stock management, we have goods or services configuration, we have stock inquire, we have stock in management, we have stock adjustment, and stock transfer management. Since we have not configured any good, we can select goods or services configuration to define the goods that we are going to deal in. So a new window comes up with the add product code. We are going to configure cement. So we go under commodity category, we browse products, we type in the search area cement and search. So we look through the return segments, we try to identify which segment has cement. So mineral and textile, inedible plant and animal materials, it's unlikely we have cement there. We go to chemicals including biochemicals and gas materials, it's not probable. Structures and building and construction manufacturing components and supplies. So there's a likelihood that the cement we have typed up there is falling under this segment due to the description of this segment. So we can click on the arrow to get more details. So we have structural components and basic shapes, concrete and cement and plaster, exterior finishing materials. So we select the one that has cement and concrete and cement and plaster. Under this we have concrete and mortars, we have cement and lime. So we go down further. Then we come up to the particular product, which is cement that we are looking for. So we select cement here, we come and select save. On selection of save, the cement we selected is automatically input under the commodity category. So we have the product code, we have my product code, we have goods or services name. So here, the business is going to input products the way that they describe them in their normal way of doing business operations. So the product code is important because it helps us monitor the stock that has been configured or that has been stocked in by the company. So we are going to configure cement. So we are going to give the cement the product code. So we can say this is cement 001, okay? And then we give this cement a name. So we can find that our company is dealing in different types of cement. We can say, for example, this is Nyati cement. Nyati cement, okay? So we can come and define the currency. We have options of UGX, USD, Great Britain pounds and euros. So we can select UGX, it's our normal currency that we use. And then our package measure unit. The Nyati cement we have selected, how is it measured? So normally we get these bags of cement, we get cement in terms of bags. So we look for the description of bags. So we type bag, and from the drop down we shall get bag coming up, so we select the bag. After selection of bag, we come and define the unit price. So here we are defining the price that we are going to be selling our Nyati cement. So we can say that we shall be selling Nyati cement at 26,000 shillings. And we can also say that the system should notify us. The system should notify us when we reach a low stock configuration of, let us say, 100 bags. So this is the description of the cement that's going to be sold by the company. So in the scenario that we shall be selling cement in terms of kilograms, we can say we can have a piece measure unit of this particular product. So we select piece measure unit. So under piece measure unit, we shall say, so besides the bags measure unit, we shall have kilograms. So we type K. Under the drop down, we shall get kilograms. There we select it. So we should describe how much are we going to sell each kilogram. So if we said the 26,000 is going to be for a bag, how much shall we sell a kilogram? Let us first describe the bag here. So we say one bag will contain 50 kilograms of cement. So this means the 26,000 is composed of 50 kilograms because we have defined that one bag contains 50 kilograms of cement. So we shall get the 26,000 divided by the 50 kgs. So we get 26,000 divided by 50, we get 520. So in this scenario, each kilogram is going to cost 520 shillings. Okay, so here we have defined the product of cement. So in the scenario you want to see the VAT information, you click on the drop down arrow. We are able to see the rate at 18%. And is it a service? No. So which means the cement we are configuring is a good. So in the scenario you deal in more than one type of cement. So we have configured Nyati cement, given it a product code of cement 001. So in the scenario maybe we are dealing in Tororo cement, we can come here and add similar goods. So let us select similar goods. So a system prompts us, are you sure you want to submit? We select OK. So this is information successfully submitted. Select OK. So what happens? The system maintains the commodity category of cement, but clears these other details that we entered. So since we are dealing in another type of cement, we say we can give this cement another code, which is cement 002. And we define this is, let us say, this is Hima cement. So we are saying, we are defining this as per the different types of cement we are selling. We come here and select the currency. We say we shall select UGX. And then package measure unit, we still say we shall be selling our cement in bags. So we type the word bag there, the drop down brings to us the package measure unit, which is bag. We select bag there. The unit price, so let us say it is 26,000. And low stock alert, let us say the system should alert us when we have 100 bags in stock, that our stock is running low. So in the scenario that it depends, if you're willing to sell Hima cement in kilograms, still you come here under package measure unit and define. But since we already defined that with Nyati cement, let us say we come here and select submit, so that we are able to submit our details that we have configured. So select submit, and system prompts us, are you sure you want to submit? We select OK. On selection of that, our goods are submitted. So on submission, the list is updated, the latest goods we have submitted. This is Hima cement and also Nyati cement. They are updated in our goods or services configuration list. Now let us configure our service. We select add product code, then we get the add product code pop-up window. We come under commodity category, we browse. So here we are looking for transport services. Let us type transport and search. On searching, the number of segments are reduced. So we go segment by segment. We look for where we expect to find transport services. On drilling down, we get to transport arranging services, we get to inspection, we get to navigation services, terminal services, transport container rental services, transport conveyance or lease, and then logistics, operation management. Given that we are looking for transport services and it is a broad category, so let us look under logistics. So we are having claim management, small parcel. This is not giving us the transport we are looking for. We can select transport arranging services and then select freight forwarders services. We can save this. So we can say transport, we can give it F001. So this is freight. We type in freight service. Freight service. Okay, so the currency we shall be using is UGX, package measure unit. Let us say the freight service we are going to charge is per week. Okay, let us say per week we shall be charging a given amount. For configuration of services, it is optional to configure the unit price because this is a service. The rate might change at any time, so we have an option of not configuring the price that we are going to charge for the service we are going to offer. So if it is excisable, we select yes, but in this case, it is not excisable, so we submit and save this service. After the configuration, our goods have been entered into the system. We can now go ahead to the next step. For those of us who are dealing in services, you can decide and go ahead and issue an invoice from here because the next step does not require for people dealing in services. Our next step is stocking management. Okay? Under stocking management, we are going to stock in goods that we have bought from other businesses that we want to configure so that we are able to issue invoices by selling them to other people. So we select stocking management. As a reminder, stocking management is only done for those of us who are dealing in goods. If we are dealing in services, we cannot stock in a service. Stocking management pop-up window comes after selection of stocking management. We have section A having import or purchase information. We have stocking type, that is local purchase and import. So for now, in case you have a local purchase, we expect you to provide a receipt number under this text box, and then you specify under which headquarter or branch you're going to stock in the goods that you have bought. I'm going to take a scenario where we have bought goods from a supermarket. Okay. Let us say we are going to stock in our first items as a local purchase. Okay. In the scenario that your company you're dealing in imports, you come and select the stocking type as import. The difference between local purchase and import is the customs entry number when you select import. But for now, we are going to deal in local purchase. So we select local purchase. For now, the receipt or invoice number is optional, but you can as well enter it there. So come and select, we are going to stock in under our headquarter. The stocking date is available. We go to section B, seller information. In case you have the TIN, you can input the TIN of the seller, of the supplier. In the scenario you don't have the TIN of the supplier, you can just provide us with a name. So here in this scenario, our supplier name, I will call our supplier Supermarket A. Supermarket A is our supplier. So when we are stocking in, we assume we have our invoice in our hand with the details of goods that we have bought. So after completing seller information under section B, we come to section C, commodity information. Under commodity information, we have add, view, modify, and delete. Okay, so we are going to add details which are on our invoice that we got from Supermarket A. So we come and select add. On selection of add, we get a new pop-up window having add goods or services. The first item available is add my product code. This is the code that we configured while we were configuring our goods or services. So we select here, we get a pop-up window of details of items that we configured in our system. So let us say we have bought cement from supermarket A. We have bought Hima cement. So we select Hima cement. This was the first item we configured. We come and select confirm. On selection of confirm, these fields are auto-populated: my product code, good or service name, package measure unit, currency. So the system is asking for us what was the purchase price for each unit. So what we can say is that because we configured our selling price for Hima cement is going to be 26,000. So let us assume we bought our cement at 24,000 shillings. And how much of the cement did we buy? Let us say we bought 1,000 bags. Our amount is automatically computed. In case of any comments, they are entered there under remarks. And in the scenario that our invoice is having more than one item, we just select add next. The details are cleared so that we are able to select a new item we are adding. We also add Hima Tororo cement. We select Tororo cement. After selection of Tororo cement, we select confirm. On selection of confirm, the details are auto-populated. So we input our purchase price as well, 24,000. And our purchase is 1,000 bags as well. So assuming our particular invoice, there are more items, we go ahead and also select add next item. We come to select here. We look for the Sony televisions that we have bought. In the scenario that you have an invoice and the details on the invoice are not available under this list, you need to go back under stock management and configure that particular good you bought from the supermarket so that you can be able to stock it in. Otherwise, you will not be able to stock in that particular item which is on your invoice from the supermarket but not configured under your account. So we select Sony and confirm. On confirmation, you have purchase price. So let us say we bought these televisions at 900,000 and we bought 70 of them. We shall have the total amount automatically computed here, and then we can go ahead and confirm these details that they are okay. So on confirmation, we get a summary under section C. We get a summary of the cement we have stocked in. We have not yet stocked in, but these are the items that we are going to stock in. So under section C, we have this item of Hima cement. We have Tororo. We have Sony televisions, 32-inch. In the scenario, you discover that you didn't buy 70, you bought more than 70 on the invoice. You entered 70 in error. You come and select 70, you modify, you increase the amount to the desired one. You can either increase or reduce, since we have not yet submitted. So on confirmation of the details here are okay, are in line with the invoice provided from supermarket A, we go ahead and submit. System prompts you, are you sure? You select confirm. On confirmation, the items we have bought are then stocked in. So these are details of the particular items we have bought from this particular supplier. In the scenario you have bought from two suppliers at one time, then you need to stock in of the goods from the different suppliers one at a time. So we have stocked in goods from supplier code supermarket A. So in the scenario we want to stock in from suppliers from another supermarket, we can just come here and select stock in and say this is a local purchase. We are still stocking in under headquarter. And then we come and input the details of of our other supplier, which we can say this is supermarket A. So in the scenario, we want to stock in from suppliers from another supermarket, we can just come here and select stock in and say this is a local purchase. We are still stocking in under headquarter. And then we come and input the details of our other supplier, which we can say this is supermarket B. So in the scenario, we want to stock in from suppliers from another supermarket, we can just come and input the details of our B. Okay, supermarket B. And then under commodity section C, commodity information, we can add the details. We can say we bought televisions from supermarket B, more televisions. We select televisions, come and confirm. On confirmation, input purchase price, let us say this was 890,000. And we bought 19 televisions from this particular supplier. So we select OK. When you're OK with the details, we submit. On submission, you're asked to confirm. On confirmation, the details are stocked in. So we have managed to stock in goods from supermarket A and also stock in goods from supermarket B. So that is the summary of our stocking. So for those of us who want to stock in, that is how we do stocking. After stocking in, when we come back to our menu, we have goods or services configuration, which we have concluded. We have stocking management, which we are looking at. Then after stocking management, we have stock adjustment. We can look at stock adjustment and see what is under stock adjustment. On selection of stock adjustment, we get a pop-up window with adjustment. The pop-up window of adjustment has section A, adjustment information. So you're given an option of choosing under which location are you adjusting your stock. Are you adjusting your stock under the headquarters or one of the branches? So far this system, this account has a headquarters and it has 2 branches. But remember, the goods that we are stocking in were stocked in under headquarters. So we select headquarters because we are certain it has goods in it. So some of the common reasons we have for adjustment, we have expired goods. The goods you have in stock might have expired. We have damaged goods. We have goods which are put to personal use. We also have goods which could have been turned into raw materials. In the scenario you have another reason for stock adjustment, you can come and select others and give us a reason. So for now, let us say the goods I'm adjusting are damaged. Let us select damaged and come under section B, adjustment commodity information, and select add. On selection of add, we get a new adjustment commodity pop-up window. Under the adjustment commodity, we come and select which goods we want to adjust. So on selection, we get a summary of goods that we have in stock. So assuming we want to adjust our televisions, okay, we select the Sony 32-inch televisions and come and confirm that this is the item we want to adjust. On selection of Sony 32-inch televisions, we get these fields auto-populated. On auto-population, we have the unit price. We said we defined our unit price as 1.1. So we have book stock 94. So currently in stock we are having 94 televisions. Okay. So by adjustment, how many do we want to reduce from the 94? Let us say we are having 6 televisions which were damaged. We select 6 and select OK. On selection of OK, details are updated under section B. Once details are adjusted under section B, these are the details of the televisions that we want to adjust. If we are comfortable with the details we want to adjust, we select OK. Once we select OK, system prompts us. We can go ahead and select OK, we submit. So on submission, the stock is adjusted. In the scenario you want to see a history of adjustments you've made, you can just come here and click search, or you can select any parameters and search using any of those, maybe the date or the headquarter or branch name. But in the scenario that you select click search, it gives you all the details of the adjustments you have done recently. So today's adjustment is this one, so we can select and view the details of what we have adjusted. So we can come and see that we adjusted televisions, and the reason was damaged goods. So we confirm that 6 of our televisions were damaged. So we can come here and close this window. So that is stock adjustment. Then we also have what we call stock transfer management. Stock transfer management involves transferring stock from one location to another. Locations which are defined in your account. Let us select stock transfer management. It brings up a pop-up window of transfer. The pop-up window of transfer has section A, transfer information. We have transfer information, transfer from, and transfer to. So, as I said, transfer of stock has to be done from one location to another. In case you do not have any branches, you cannot be able to transfer stock. So for this scenario, we can select we are transferring stock from our headquarters because we are sure it is the one that has stock, it's the one we stocked in. Let us say we are transferring our stock to Bugolobi branch. So we select Bugolobi as our branch. We are transferring our stock to. The date is already there. So what is the reason for the stock transfer? Some of the common reasons we have for stock transfer, we have out of stock adjustment, we have error adjustment, and in the scenario you have any other reason which is not listed up, you can select others and then input your reason for the stock transfer. So for now, let us say it could have been an error adjustment. Let us say you are supposed to stock in under Bugolobi, but you ended up stocking in everything under the headquarters. So after filling in section A, we come to section B, transfer commodity information. We come and select add. On selection of add, we get a pop-up window of transfer commodity. Transfer commodity, my product code. We come here and select which product are we going to transfer. Let us say we are going to transfer cement, Tororo cement. We select Tororo cement and come and confirm. On confirmation, these details are auto-populated. Our stock is 1,000. So, assuming in this scenario we want to transfer 199 bags from our headquarters to our Bugolobi branch. So, we input 199 as the transfer quantity. We shall have current stock reduced to 801, and the transfer amount shall be computed. So, we select OK. On selection of OK, we shall have the details put down under section B in terms of a summary, the product, the measure, the stock we are transferring. So we can also add another good that we are transferring. Let us say we are also going to transfer Hima cement. So we select transfer. We come transfer commodity. We select. We look for our Hima cement, we select it and confirm as well. Let us say this one we are transferring 73 bags. Okay, so we confirm as well. So we have a summary of the details that the stock we are going to transfer. So we can still go ahead and select OK. The system prompts us to select OK. So in the scenario you want to see a history of the stock we have transferred, you can select any parameters, or you can also just click search and you get a drop down details of the information which you can see, select and view, and also get to understand how much of this stock we are able to transfer. So that is stock transfer management. Under stock inquiry, on selection, we have this window that comes up. So we are supposed to know how much stock do we have and where is the stock that we have. So we can select which branch we want to select, or we can just search and be able to see the details of the stock we have and where it is located. So on the items that we managed to stock in, we have the television sets. We stocked them in under the headquarters. They are still under headquarters. We have our bags of cement, Hima and Tororo, they are under both the headquarter and the branch. So in case we want to export this file, we can just come here and click export, and then we can select where we want to save this information and then select save. So we shall have our details download. In the scenario that you want to keep track of what was transferred when and how, we shall come under stock transfer management, close this window, search, and then also export this field, export the data, and be able to maybe do a further analysis on this data. So we have looked at all the items under stock management. So given that at this point you remember that you configured something wrongly, say we configured cement in terms of kilograms, assuming I need to configure it in terms of bags, we can come back here under goods or services configuration. We get the pop-up window of add product code. We come and close it. After closing it, we search. Okay. On searching, we need to know what did I stock in recently. So this list is returned with details according to when you configured them. So now our aim is to adjust our quantity, our package measure unit of cement. Let us begin with Tororo cement. We click Tororo cement, we go to modify. On selection of modify, it opens this pop-up window which we had populated. So we want to change the package unit measure from kilograms to bags. For cement is sold in terms of bags. So we select bag and submit and save on the prompt. So that was Tororo cement. So we can also come and do the same for Hima cement. We select Hima cement, we come and modify. On modification, we come under package measure unit and we select bag. When we type the word bag, we get a drop down. The details are filtered to bring details which are beginning with bag. We select our bag and also submit the same. So our details are changed. So our package measure unit is adjusted to what we feel we are comfortable with. So in summary, that is all to do with stock management. We have managed to look at goods or services configuration. We said for those of us who are dealing in services, all we have to do is to configure the services. For those of us dealing in goods, what we have to do, we come and configure the goods. After configuration, we move on to the next step, which is stocking management. Then after stocking in the goods, you are free to adjust or transfer the stock, and also you're free to inquire which stock you have and where is it located. So that is all to do with stock management.
I hope this video has been helpful to you. In the next tutorial, we shall cover fiscal document management, which looks at issuing of the e-invoices and e-receipts, credit notes and debit notes.